Hello plant people, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and I'm a soil scientist, a Canadian gardener gardening in Zone 3, and we're doing the much requested beginning of the summer, I guess you could say, tour of the garden. So this is just my garden in the city, not my garden that is out in the countryside at the farm. So this is my urban homestead, I guess you could say. So we're just gonna walk through, we're gonna look at all the different plants we have. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can get a better view of what we'll be looking at. And yeah, let's just get started. This will be fun. Hopefully it's not too long. So this is my tomato area, and I have two beds here. This is where I plant all my tomatoes all the time. I guess you could say I'm doing the who's the soil microbiologist lady. Let me know in the comments down below if you remember who that is. But she says that if you plant the same plants every single year, then you'll have a rhizosphere engineered strictly towards benefiting tomatoes, which I don't think is the case. Honestly, I can see me getting some disease issues in this patch eventually, but we'll keep on giving it a shot and see what happens. So this one here is my conventional, meaning I'm using Miracle-Gro fertilizer on this patch, and then that patch over there is actually my humic acid organically grown version. So we're using cow manure and we're using Evolve fertilizer, and we'll figure out which one does the best. So these are my little guys here. We have a ton of flowers. Make sure to check out my video on whether or not you have to shake these or if you just leave them be. I have them very densely packed in here. Someone is very concerned about how densely packed my tomatoes are, but honestly, I've done this so many times. I'm not too worried about it at all. I already have some tomatoes forming, which is very cool. So these guys over here I actually just planted, these little jiggers. This is my ginormous sunflower. So what happened with these tomatoes is I planted these later in the year because initially I had Brussels sprouts in here. You can kind of see the remnants of my Brussels sprout babies, and what happened is I got a ton of cabbage worm invasion in this bed, and it just wiped out all my Brussels sprouts. I didn't treat it. They kind of got at my sunflowers too as well, and so now I'm replanted with some tomatoes. So I have some smaller tomatoes in there because honestly I didn't know what else to put in this area, so that was kind of my limited options. So here is my organically grown patch. Now I do have some flowers happening. You can see some right there, and I do have some tomatoes forming, and so they're on par. They're a little shorter. I don't know, I mean, obviously this had quite a bit more nitrogen in it than this patch did, but what time will tell what we have. I also have some corn in the back row there. We'll see how that goes. I've never done corn in the back. I usually do corn in containers in the city. And then I have lettuce, celery, lettuce, celery, lettuce, celery. So that's kind of fun as well. And I did have some thrips on my lettuce. You can kind of see them eating around at the bottom leaves, but I mean, it's nothing to get too worked up about, so I'm okay with what's going on. And then I have grass as my mulch, so I'm using grass clippings as my mulch in both these beds, so both the organic and the inorganic one. So you can use mulch, both conventional gardens and organic gardens. So I mean, to be honest, my tomatoes in my organic garden, they are a bit bigger. Is this my green zebra one? This one might be one of my specialty tomatoes taken off here. So they're looking good, looking healthy. So in here I have, I think people call them kitchen gardens is what they're called. And so this is what this is. And so in here I have, mint, a ton of mint. I really like mint for, mojitos and such. And then I have some herbs, lots of different herbs. So I've got dill, I've got, this is a kale actually, I have oregano, I have stevia, this is purple basil, very pretty. I have chives, I have parsley, cilantro is in here, and then I have more kale, rosemary, basil. This is all basil. This is spearmint, so I seeded this directly into the bed itself. This has a bit of downy, so hopefully that doesn't take over my patch too much for my basil anyways. And then I have my lettuce, which is very densely packed, and I'm sure many of you are going to say this is way too much, but the intent here is to continually harvest, so I won't get heads of lettuce. This is just more of a micro green type setup. So Bob built me this year, so it's really cute, really nice. I enjoy it quite a bit. So let's jump over to the other side of the garden. So this is a bed I just built or just put together this year, and it's really not new. I actually reused some boards that I had on my other bed from before. So I have nasturtiums on both sides, on the outsides, and then inside here I have spinach seeded. Obviously started a little bit later than maybe some of my other stuff. I did get this bed set up quite a bit later, and then in here I have all just different types of herbs and lettuces. So honestly, I didn't do rows too much. I just kind of spread it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to transplant some of these once they get a little bit bigger. But sunflower seeds kind of along the back here, and then again I have a row of oregano because I want to try to dry as many herbs as I possibly can this year. Herbs are expensive, honestly. And then I have more oregano, parsley, that sort of thing. And then I have spearmint here at the front portion. Those are weeds because I have this beast, and so that beast is less than ideal because it drops all these little tiny baby trees everywhere, so that's wonderful. And then these are my leeks. Now these leeks I started way too late and they are pretty small. I'm not sure that's going to turn out, but I need something in there, so that's what's signed up. And then we have more nasturtium. We have Jack here. He's such a good cat. He never leaves the backyard, oddly enough, and he only comes outside when I'm outside to garden, and then he goes back indoors. Kind of cute. So this is my cabbage I have here. Obviously pretty large. I have 2 heads. That guy is much larger than the other ones. And then I have my Brussels sprouts in this area. I've got one Brussels sprout right here. So the yellowing leaves is actually old leaves from when it was inside, like indoors. And so when I transferred it outside, these long leggy leaves that weren't as didn't have as thick of cellulose ended up turning yellow, dying off. That's totally normal, nothing to concern yourself with. So I have nasturtiums kind of planted in and about, but I have my kale here in zone 3. We don't have the ability to grow kale all year round like some of the warmer climates in Canada or in northern US, and then this is an absolute mess of stuff. So I have carrots in here, and then I spilled a bag of kale. So as you can see, I've got kale, and then I've got carrots. So I gotta clean that up and do something with that, but that's okay. I just wanted to show you guys, in reality, what a garden will look like. So then I have my sunflower seeds all at the back. I really like sunflower seed flowers for cut flowers. And then I have my Swiss chard. So I had a bit of a bug issue that's gone now. I just mechanically removed all of them. I have my onions, and then in that back section is okra. So my okra isn't very big yet, but fingers crossed. This is my first year growing okra. That is okra in that back corner, and then this is Swiss chard. And all these little gates that you guys see everywhere, it's not for bracing. It is to keep my pets out of the road. So this is a beautiful little alyssum there. And then I have my potatoes in a container inside here. Then I have some petunias there. So yeah, and that is my beautiful Magidome at the back. So let's hop over to more of the shade garden. So this is my shade garden, and I do not want to underestimate how much years of work this has been getting this to even look this way. I've got horrible soil. I've got a ginormous tree shading my life away, and so it is very limited what will grow in here, and some of these honestly are just taking a stance in this area. So I do have my hanging baskets of Coleus nasturtium, and then I have Nasturtium lobelia at the back there. This is salvia. I have oh god, comment down below what that is. I know what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. For whatever reason, I forget. So I have him. This is a hydrangea. It will be so beautiful in a few months, or in a month even. I've got pansy. That's obviously hand planted. I've got a hosta, Virginia creeper. Now, some people won't agree with that, but I really like that plant for whatever reason. If you guys didn't know, the hubby is a car nut. Well, actually, if you've seen my backyard, you know the hubby's a car nut. He's just totally wild. So we have car parts all over. Anyways, he races vehicles, and so voila, a rod went through the block on this bad boy, and so now I am the proud owner of a very cute planter that Bob also enjoys quite a bit. So this is tiger lilies. This is the provincial plant of Saskatchewan. Fun fact, big old moose antler. These plants are the same. So these are the Caryopsis. They're not, I don't know, they're not my favorite, but they grow here, so they're gonna stay. These are hostas that, I mean, could be separated. More lilies. Hosta, and Helboreus, I believe is what that's called. I can't quite remember. Anyways, he's really doing good there. He's doing great, actually, quite honestly. So that is what the shade garden looks like, and like I said, I'm so proud of this. It's taken so much time to even get it to this point. So very, very poor soil for the longest time, and now we're back. So we're just moving up onto my deck now. I have these hanging baskets on either side. So Black-eyed Susans, Alyssum, that's going to seed. Those aren't the non-deadhead versions. And then my pansies that I grew from seed there. I do bring my indoor plants inside. I did a video all about that. These are my dahlias. I'm so excited. There's so many flowers going to come alive on that. Snake plant, like I said, to bring my houseplants outdoors. I find that I get some huge benefits out of this. A big pile of nasturtium with a poor pepper plant just being swallowed inside of there. So these are jumbo nasturtiums. So they have bigger leaves, bigger flowers, that sort of thing. Here I have spearmint and rose, or lavender. Spearmint and lavender. And then again, more houseplants. I have artichokes growing in Canada. Yes, I know, how epic. Rosary plant. And then my basil, which had caterpillars on it as well, but that's been fixed up. So beautiful thing of basil. Like I said, I'm trying to, save as much veggies as I can. I have eucalyptus, pepper plant, cucamelons going up this way, pansies, and then what are those guys? Portulaca. They really like sun and heat, and this is very sun, very heat type area. So this is a poor artichoke. This is a poor artichoke that had issues, so he's on his way out. He's flowering. He bolted for whatever reason, and so here we are. Begonia, stuffers, and then my indoor plants outside. That leaf's not looking good, but yeah, so these guys are going to be outside for the summertime. Rhaptopora tetrasperma, Adansonia, and then this is just a regular monstera. More coleus I grew from seed. My poor Calathea, I think you saw that in another video where I'm just trying to keep him alive, literally. Begonia, daisy, Gerber daisy, petunia, big fat Bronx paw, my cannabis plants, and then last but not least, my pond that I was just cleaning before this video started. There is fishies in here, but they're just hiding under that pot. I gotta put some plants in here for these guys. And then I have this trellis that Bobby built me. I have snap peas on that side, and then I have nasturtiums in this front portion, tomato plants, and then I did plant cucumbers and those are string beans, but I did plant cucumbers really early in the season, but for whatever reason I ended up with a really bad supplier of cucumbers and none of them came up. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was someone local in Saskatchewan. Anyway, so I had to replant them and they're just coming out now. So the intent is for this to go up and then over a bit. Same with that batch over there. But again, carnut, what can I say? Farmer and carnut. There's a bit of each in there. So yeah, and don't worry about the rest. The fish are fine. They always have been. They've been in there for 3-4 years now and we haven't had any issues. So doing pretty darn good. And then that's quite honestly, that's it. There's Frank. Yeah, that's Frank. He says, look at my lawn I've destroyed. Yeah, it's a bad lawn. Bag of parts. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what my yard looks like. That's Jack. And yeah. But that's all I have for the garden tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up. And then I'll do a mid-year or mid-summer update. And then we'll do one at harvest again as well, just to see how everything worked out. If stuff didn't, I will report back. The only one I'm not too sure about is the okra, and then also the artichokes are like the two that I'm kind of like, I'm not sure what's going to happen with them because I've never grown them before. So we'll find out what happens. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.